crazy and risky experiment when two men suddenly decide to swap wives. But no one could have predicted that this decision would cause all the hidden secrets to be exposed. You won't be able to take your eyes off what's about to happen. Just for one day, honey. It's just a harmless joke. Ethan's carefree words echoed in the air, accompanied by a gentle smile that contained something strange, causing Olivia to feel perplexed. She looked at him, surprise becoming evident on her face. This was one of those moments she never imagined would happen in her life. Could this really just be a joke, or is it the beginning of a tragedy awaiting them? The story begins on a brightly lit evening when two close couples decide to challenge each other with a strange game, different from any pranks they've ever tried before. We could say this is a unique challenge, but for them, it's a way to test the limits of love and trust in a relationship. Ethan and Olivia, a perfect couple in the eyes of society, always boast about their fulfilling life through beautiful photos and sweet stories. David and Sophia, in contrast to Ethan and Olivia, are a simple yet strong couple who have loved each other since college. They are never the center of staged photos or grand romantic moments, but their love is strong and full of understanding. Both couples agree to join in a quirky game proposed by David and Sophia. The rules are simple, yet hard to accept for those looking from the outside. Within 24 hours, the two women will live in the house of the other man. For just one day, they are not allowed to have any intimate communication, no kisses, no hugs, just living together in each other's space. After the time is over, everything will return to normal, and the four of them will return to their roles as husband and wife. What seemed to be just a fun game changed the moment the proposal was made. The looks exchanged between the two couples revealed undeniable tension. Olivia couldn't help but feel uneasy as she looked into Ethan's confident eyes. Could this really be just a harmless joke, or is there something deeper hidden behind it? As for David and Sophia, who have lived in simple, genuine love, could they really be comfortable with this challenge? Ethan and Olivia, the perfect couple or the perfect facade? Ethan and Olivia are always seen as the ideal couple by everyone around them. Their relationship never lacks sweet moments on social media. They always share photos of their travels, dinners, romantic anniversaries, and endless affectionate words. But is their relationship really as perfect as it seems? Do the dazzling lights on Instagram truly reflect their love for each other? Or is it just a facade of a virtual world where everything is edited and flaunted? This game, though seemingly innocent and harmless, raises questions. Olivia cannot help but ask herself, does Ethan truly love her? Or is his love just something driven by societal approval? Olivia, an intelligent and sharp woman, cannot help but feel that something is off. Although Ethan always says this is just a harmless joke, deep inside her, there's a fear she cannot explain. She feels like after this day, everything could change. What if she realizes that Ethan only loves the perfect image, not the real person she is? Could their love really be strong enough to overcome this challenge? Or is it just a wall they've built to cover the cracks in their relationship? David and Sophia, simple love, but strong and lasting. In contrast to Ethan and Olivia, David and Sophia are a simple yet solid couple. They don't need to flaunt their love on social media. Their love has been built over the years, through hardships, and in moments of sharing sorrow and joy in life. Sophia looks at David with eyes full of trust, and David feels the same. They don't need to prove anything to anyone because they know their love is strong enough. However, when they join in this challenge, even though she doesn't show it, Sophia feels uneasy. She's not sure whether having David live a day with Olivia will change anything in their relationship. She trusts David, but she can't help wondering if this challenge is a test for their love or just a meaningless experiment they're pushing themselves into. 24 hours. That will change everything. When the game starts, everything seems fine at first. Ethan and Olivia move into David and Sophia's house, while David and Sophia move into Ethan's. Both women immediately sense the difference from the very first moment. Though there's no intimacy or any actions beyond the limits, the atmosphere in each other's homes still contains a strange feeling. Both Olivia and Sophia begin to notice things they had never thought about before. Olivia starts to notice things Ethan never said, the small details she had never paid attention to. She feels a shift, a crack that she had never realized. As for Sophia, though she doesn't say it, she feels a strange sensation when she's in Ethan's house. She realizes that not everything is as it seems. The things she sees here make her rethink what she knows about David. A sense of insecurity begins to rise in her heart, not because she lacks trust in David, but because she feels she no longer understands him as she did before. A joke or a disaster? Both couples must face questions they never thought they would have to answer. Is this challenge just a harmless joke, or is it truly the beginning of a disaster awaiting them? Each of them must ask themselves if they can maintain their relationship, or if unwanted emotions will lead things down the wrong path. 24 hours pass, and the game ends. But can everything go back to normal as before? Or have their relationships changed forever, never to return? Olivia and David, Sophia and Ethan, 4 people with different marriages, emotions, and intertwined relationships, but with one common point. They all face an unexpected challenge, a game that they could never have predicted the changes it would bring. In just one day, everything will change, and their lives will never be the same again. Each of them has their own thoughts and emotions facing this challenging choice, and here are their moods as they stand before this challenge. Olivia, excited. Olivia is a strong, confident woman who loves new challenges. For her, this game is not just a simple challenge, but an opportunity to test and confirm what she has achieved in her relationship with David. This game seems fun. Let's see if David is more considerate than Ethan, Olivia says with a confident smile, her eyes shining as if she's preparing to join a competition she's sure to win. She's not worried about whether David could be attracted to Olivia or Sophia, as she believes their relationship is strong enough not to be affected by outside challenges. However, deep down, there's a bit of curiosity about whether David really loves her as deeply as she thinks. Will this game help her confirm that, or will it just complicate things even further? Sophia, hesitant. Sophia feels completely different. As a gentle wife who loves her husband, she can't help but feel anxious and uneasy about this challenge. I love David, but does he like Olivia more than me? Sophia wonders, her hands tightly clenched, her lips pressed together, as if trying to control the emotions welling up inside her. She's always known that David's love for her is strong, but could this challenge make him see Olivia in a different light? She can't help but wonder if David might be attracted to Olivia's beauty and confidence. Doubts about her relationship begin to creep into her mind. Will she be strong enough to face these emotions? Or will they shatter the love she's worked so hard to build? Ethan, curious. Ethan, Sophia's husband, has a completely different attitude. He's not worried or scared, but instead curious and slightly excited about this game. Let's see how it feels to have a different wife, Ethan thinks, smiling lightly with hidden meaning. He's not the kind of man who is easily bound by conventional marriage rules. His relationship with Sophia has had ups and downs, and at times, he feels he's not completely free. To him, this game is not just a challenge, but also an opportunity to experiment and see if he can find a new, refreshing feeling, a different kind of freedom in his married life. Ethan is not necessarily greedy or selfish, but he always feels like he hasn't truly lived to the fullest in this relationship. He thinks that if this challenge brings new emotions, he will be willing to embrace them without hesitation. However, deep inside, he also can't help but feel anxious about how Sophia will react to this decision. Will she forgive him? Or will his curiosity cause her pain? David, reluctant. Meanwhile, David, Olivia's husband, is completely reluctant to join this game. He's not the type to participate in strange challenges or games. Isn't this a ridiculous idea? David wonders. feeling a sense of unease and doubt rising inside him. Although he respects and loves Olivia, he can't shake the feeling that this game is a mistake. For him, honesty and sincerity have always been a top priority. He doesn't understand why he has to do something like this to test his feelings for Olivia. Moreover, David doesn't believe that his love will be tested through a silly game. He knows Olivia is the ideal wife, and he's never thought about abandoning her for someone else. But he can't deny the uneasy feeling inside him when thinking about participating in this challenge. Will he be able to maintain his relationship with Olivia after the game ends? Or will there be irreparable wounds? Though each of them has different thoughts and emotions, none of them can predict the outcome of this challenge. It's a game they couldn't have imagined would change everything. A single short day, but the emotions and the explosion of unexpected situations will make their lives never the same again. These marriages, built on love and trust, will be tested to what extent as their emotional relationships become more complicated than ever. Olivia, David, Sophia, and Ethan all stand before big questions, deep doubts about love, loyalty, and truth in their married lives. This game is just the beginning of a difficult and challenging journey, the outcome of which will not only change them, but also alter the way they perceive their own lives and relationships. Just one day, but they can't imagine that it will mark a significant turning point in each of their lives. Olivia stood at the living room door, gently pushing it open to step inside. The morning light filtered through the thin curtains, illuminating the modern furnishings in David's apartment. Since moving here, everything felt new to her, completely different from what she had experienced before. This feeling, though new, made Olivia feel at ease. She sensed the calmness of this apartment, its unfamiliarity, yet it was so comfortable. These mornings, moments like this, no shouting, no arguing, no worries, were something she hadn't enjoyed in a long time. David stood in the kitchen, his hands busy preparing breakfast. The air was filled with the scent of freshly brewed coffee and toasted bread. He always made her feel warm and comfortable whenever she entered his home. Mornings like this, Olivia felt the care and thoughtfulness David extended toward her. Not only did he know how to make a simple breakfast delicious, but he also knew how to create an atmosphere that allowed her to feel relaxed. She had never experienced such moments in her marriage with Ethan. "David, you're so sweet. If only Ethan were like that." Olivia couldn't contain her emotions. She smiled at him, her eyes shining with affection. Her words were a painful truth, but undeniable. David's treatment of her was something she had never received from Ethan. David looked at Olivia, his eyes subtly raised, showing a deep understanding of what she had just said. He didn't respond immediately, but gently placed the plate of toasted bread on the table, then turned to pour her a glass of orange juice. "If you'd like, I can make you coffee instead of tea," David said in a soft, warm voice that made Olivia feel strangely peaceful. He was always considerate, knowing how to listen and meet her needs without any pressure or discomfort. Meanwhile, in another place, Sophia was not having such pleasant experiences. She woke up in her own room, opened her eyes, and felt the coldness of the space around her. There was no laughter, no care from anyone, only the sound of phone notifications and the continuous ringing of the alarm clock. Ethan had been awake for a while, but he was still immersed in his work. He only gave Sophia rushed questions, shallow words that showed no concern for her feelings. "Drink some tea or coffee or something, I'm busy," Ethan said, his eyes glued to the computer screen, his expression unchanged. Sophia felt like she was invisible in that room, a shadow that didn't matter. Ethan didn't see her, didn't acknowledge her presence. Mornings like this had become a routine for Sophia. No care, no inquiry, only hurry and indifference. Sophia couldn't help but feel empty. She remembered the times when they first married, when Ethan would care for her, but now he was distant. Every day she witnessed that indifference more clearly. Their conversations had become brief, their hugs just a duty, and their kisses mechanical actions. Sophia felt the emotional distance between them, even though they still lived under the same roof. Gradually, Olivia and Sophia began to realize that something was wrong in their marriages. Olivia looked at David's thoughtful and gentle gestures, while Sophia faced Ethan's indifference. Both women didn't want to admit it, but they could no longer deny the harsh truth. They weren't happy. While Olivia found warmth in the mornings with David, Sophia could only face the coldness in her marriage with Ethan. And it was this difference that led both women to gradually realize that their lives had changed drastically, and perhaps they could no longer continue living in relationships that lacked love and care. The atmosphere in the restaurant dining room is quite cozy, with soft lighting casting over white-clothed tables, creating a peaceful and luxurious space. Olivia is sitting across from David, feeling a stark contrast between him and Ethan. She is used to having lunch with Ethan in bustling, noisy settings, where everything revolves around work, phone calls, and trivial conversations that never delve into anything deep. But today, sitting beside David, she feels different, as if she's being seen in a completely new light. Olivia has always been a strong, independent woman, but she can't escape moments of loneliness. Her husband, Ethan, a well-known businessman, is always busy with work and major projects. The evenings when he's not home, Olivia has grown accustomed to the silence. She has slowly accepted the life she's living, but sometimes, when she sees happy couples, her heart aches just a little. And now, sitting across from David, she begins to realize something. Perhaps she was wrong to think she had enough. David is a refined man, completely different from the men Olivia has known. He not only listens to the stories she shares, but also asks profound questions, things Olivia had never thought about. He listens to her with eyes full of concern, sincerity emanating from every gesture and word. Olivia begins to feel that there's something in these conversations that makes her feel comfortable, as if she's an important part of his story. Meanwhile, Ethan is completely different. He's always busy, always in another world, the world of meetings, business trips, and endless social relationships. Olivia is no longer the partner he pays attention to like in the beginning. She's just a part of his busy life, and this gradually makes her tired. During that lunch, David shares with Olivia old memories, stories about trips and precious moments he's had. He doesn't just tell the stories, he shares his feelings, his thoughts, and the lessons he's learned. This makes Olivia feel as though she stepped into another world, one where emotions and genuine care are prioritized. David doesn't just ask about her work or future plans, but he's also interested in her past, the things that made her the woman she is today. His deep questions and sincere interest make Olivia feel that she's not alone in this world. As the conversation shifts to family matters, Olivia can't help but think of Ethan. She recalls the times before when she tried to share stories about work or worries in life, but Ethan would just nod or listen briefly and forget. She can never forget the coldness in his eyes and the indifference when she tried to open up. That feeling gradually became familiar. But now, sitting across from David, Olivia realizes the lack in her relationship. While Olivia is lost in her thoughts, David looks at her gently, smiling. He says, "Sophia is lucky to have a husband like me." These words make Olivia freeze, because she has never heard Ethan say anything like that. This comparison, though unintentional, stirs something within her. She looks at David, trying to stay calm, but a part of her can't deny that what David said might be true. Sophia, David's wife, is always considered lucky by others. People admire her for having a perfect husband, an ideal family, but few know the struggles they've faced. Olivia can't help but wonder if she is lucky to have a husband like Ethan, someone she feels is growing more distant. She feels like she's a part of the perfect picture Ethan has created, but not the main character in his life. This feeling makes Olivia even more restless. She begins to realize that Ethan is not the perfect man she once imagined. On social media, he always appears as the ideal husband, a man who cares for his family and is devoted to his wife and children. But in real life, he's the one who neglects her, pays no attention to her feelings or needs. Ethan only loves the perfect image he's created for others, and Olivia is no longer an important part of that life. The feeling of abandonment gradually makes Olivia feel insecure. She begins to ask herself if she's the only one who feels this way, or if others have also noticed it. One day, when Ethan casually mentioned Olivia during a conversation, he unknowingly made her realize something that shocked her. "You don't really know Olivia, do you?" This statement hit her like a slap to the face. She couldn't believe that Ethan, the man she had lived with for so many years, didn't understand the basics about her. He didn't know what she liked, what she wanted in life, and didn't even understand the struggles she was facing. It was then that Olivia realized their relationship had long been cracked, and she was no longer the woman Ethan loved as before. He only loved the ideal image he had created, the perfect wife in the eyes of society, not the real Olivia. The emotions that had been hidden for so long now erupted, leaving her feeling lonely and hurt. Meanwhile, the truth is slowly coming to light. A shocking secret has been uncovered, and it's not something Olivia can easily forgive. Ethan, the man she always thought was the perfect husband, has been having an affair. The times he was busy with work were actually to hide his dates with another woman. Olivia feels as though she's been deceived, and her heart feels shattered. This secret not only hurts Olivia, but also makes her realize that the love she had for Ethan has become a distant dream. She no longer feels connected to the man she once trusted, and now she stands at an important crossroads. Does she have the strength to continue living in a fake relationship? Or will she find a new path, a new life where she can find the love and genuine care she has always longed for? In that moment, Olivia knows she has no other choice but to face the truth, no matter how painful it is. The afternoon, like any other normal day, gently transitions into evening, but for Olivia, this is an unforgettable moment in her life. Everything seems calm, but the truth is so cruel that it makes her heart stop. The situation starts when she accidentally sees a message on Ethan's phone, her husband. It's a simple yet suggestive message. "See you tonight, my love." Olivia's first reaction is disbelief. Ethan, the man she has loved and trusted for so many years, is cheating. Though she had suspected it before, she never imagined the truth would be this harsh. Olivia cannot explain this terrible feeling. All the struggles they went through together, the difficult times when she thought Ethan was the only one who would never betray her, now suddenly disappear. She can't believe that the man who promised to stand by her for life is secretly with another woman. Olivia feels like someone who's had everything taken away, standing silently staring at her phone screen with a broken heart. That short message, though brief, feels like a knife cutting deep into her, turning all her previous doubts into painful reality. The love she had for Ethan, the trust she placed in him, has now become painful memories that are hard to accept. But what Olivia doesn't expect is that the truth she's facing is just part of a larger web of complicated relationships she's about to discover. Far away, Sophia, Olivia's best friend, is also dealing with similar feelings. She feels that her marriage with David seems to be heading to a dead end. Her heart can't help but doubt the coldness David has shown her in recent times. Their conversations have become scarce. The care seems to have faded, and during the long, sleepless nights, Sophia can only feel a vague presence in her life. One day, when David is away, Sophia decides to check his computer. She can't stop thinking that he might be hiding something. And then, by coincidence, she discovers an old diary that David had never shown her. It contains writings from years ago when David loved another woman, Olivia. Sophia's feelings at that moment are indescribable. She feels like someone who's been discarded, a betrayal she never could have imagined. Olivia, her best friend, someone she had shared so many things with, was the woman David loved before. Confusion, emptiness, and pain overwhelm Sophia. Her friendship and marriage seem unclear now, and she can't help but wonder if she can continue living in a relationship where trust has been broken. But the story doesn't end there. At a party attended by both Olivia and Sophia, truths were exposed. A seemingly harmless wife-swapping game, once thought to be a joke, suddenly turned into an unimaginable nightmare. This game not only made the relationships between the couples fade, but it also put Olivia and David in an excruciating situation. Olivia, full of disappointment, could no longer hide her feelings. She stands facing David, her once closest friend, now quietly staring at her like a stranger. The friendship between her and Sophia has lost its purity. Both women stand there, facing each other, but unable to do anything other than feel the destruction happening around them. The close friendship has now been shattered, and Olivia can't help but wonder if her marriage can survive this betrayal. Can she forgive Ethan, the man she once loved, despite him breaking her trust? And Sophia, can she ever find trust in her marriage again after discovering David's secrets? The wife-swapping game, which was meant to be just a fun activity, has now become a nightmare, shaking all the relationships. Which marriage will collapse first? That question remains unanswered. The wounds in Olivia and Sophia's hearts cannot be healed immediately. But one thing is clear: betrayal, whether from a best friend or a loving husband, always leaves scars that can't be healed. Olivia has lost faith in the man she loved, and Sophia no longer sees David the same way. These emotions continue to linger in their hearts, impossible to erase. Every relationship has its own cracks, and when betrayal strikes, those cracks widen, breaking everything beyond repair. As the evening falls, like a black curtain covering the city, the atmosphere in the room becomes heavy and suffocating. The dim light from the faint shadows on the walls reflects the dark feelings within each person present. Olivia and Sophia, two women, are now standing face to face with a truth they cannot deny. A painful truth they were afraid to confront before. Friendship, love, and the deep bonds they once shared suddenly shatter into pieces that cannot be mended. Olivia stands there facing Ethan. She feels the pain rising within her, a feeling she never imagined would come from the very man she trusted wholeheartedly. She looks into Ethan's eyes, but now they are no longer the warm gaze of the man she once loved, but a cold, distant stare. Olivia can't utter a word, only quietly watching, feeling her heart tighten with each beat. Finally, when the tears begin to fall from Olivia's eyes, she speaks, her voice choked, as though no words could express the pain in her heart. "Did you betray me, Ethan?" That question is not only an accusation, but also a sigh of disappointment. Olivia cannot understand why Ethan, the one she always thought would never hurt her, could betray the trust she placed in him. She loved him with all her heart, but now, facing the truth, that love feels like a sharp knife piercing her chest. Ethan looks at her, showing no sympathy, just a faint smile on his lips. He shrugs, his face indifferent as if nothing significant has happened. He responds coldly and cruelly. "You thought you were perfect? You've been infatuated with David too." Ethan laughs mockingly, then steps back as if he no longer cares about how Olivia feels. His words slap Olivia in the face, leaving her unable to say anything further. Ethan not only betrayed her physically, but he also lost all respect for her, treating their love like a game he could easily dismiss. Olivia is stunned, unable to believe what she just heard. She didn't want to admit it, but now Ethan's words tear apart every thought in her mind. The doubts about her relationship with David, her best friend, gradually become a painful reality. She can't believe she is standing here, facing everything she feared the most: betrayal, pain, and loss. But Olivia is not the only one facing this truth. Sophia, her best friend, is also feeling a whirlwind of emotions, the storm of turmoil sweeping through her heart. She looks at David, the husband she has always trusted. But now, he's the one who once loved Olivia, the one she considered her closest friend, the one she had shared both joy and sorrow with in life. Sophia can't hold back her emotions. She trembles, feeling like everything is slipping from her grasp. She never imagined that everything she's facing now would come from those she loved most. The complex emotions make her heart feel like it's being torn apart. She turns to look at David, her eyes filled with pain and disappointment. "You once loved Olivia. Do you still love her?" That question rings out, cold and full of hurt. Sophia cannot say anything more, only looking into David's eyes, hoping to find some truth within them. But David's response does nothing to ease the pain in her heart. He just stands there, silent, unwilling to face her, Olivia, or even himself. David's silence is like an admission. Sophia feels like everything she has trusted for so long has collapsed. David not only betrayed her, but also carries feelings she can't accept. The love he once had for Olivia, even though in the past, still lingers in his heart, and Sophia can't understand why that's happening. She doesn't understand why, while they are living together, he still holds on to memories of another woman. While Olivia faces Ethan, her heart shattered by his words, Sophia must also confront the truth that David, the man she loved and had built a family with, holds feelings she cannot accept. Another betrayal, and a marriage suddenly torn apart before their eyes. And all these truths stem from a game that seemed harmless, but exposed all the secrets no one wanted to acknowledge. The wife-swapping game, which the couples thought was just a joke, suddenly became the catalyst for unleashing hidden emotions and unresolved conflicts. Everything is suddenly revealed, exposing the dark corners they had always tried to hide. Olivia and Sophia have both been swept into the storm of truth. Both women are not only facing betrayal, but also deep emotional wounds. The relationships that seemed unbreakable have now cracked, and no one can be sure whether they can be saved. The tears, the silence, and the questioning are all that remains in that dark room. Olivia and Sophia look at each other, their eyes no longer kind as before. Their relationship is no longer as it once was. The friendship between them has been tarnished, and the love between them, whether between Olivia and Ethan or between Sophia and David, now seems irreparable. Both women stand there, facing truths that cannot be denied, unable to turn back. And now, they must ask themselves, can they overcome all this pain to move forward, or will these wounds forever haunt their minds? The story is not always easy. It's the story of people who once placed their trust in love and lifetime commitment, only to find that everything can change in a moment. Olivia and Sophia, two women with seemingly perfect lives, are now facing the final decision about their marriages. When confronted with betrayal, no one could have guessed that a simple game, a random decision, could lead to unforeseen consequences. A wife-swapping game, originally thought to be a joke between friends, suddenly becomes the catalyst for painful divorces and irreparable breakdowns. But these decisive moments raise the question, can they continue living in a marriage full of cracks? Or do they have to face the truth that everything has been over for a long time? In the quiet room, Olivia stands there, looking at the wedding ring on her finger, wondering if she can continue living in this relationship. Ethan, the husband she once loved, the one she trusted and believed in for so many years, now feels like a stranger. The promises they made to each other long ago no longer hold any meaning. They are left with nothing but unhealed cracks, lies they both have been deceiving each other with for so long. Olivia can no longer hide the disappointment, the pain, and the feeling of betrayal she has endured. Finally, she decides to take off the wedding ring and place it on the table as a final end to her relationship with Ethan. "You don't love me anymore, Ethan. You only love yourself." Those words, gentle yet full of pain, Olivia can't stop crying as she says them. She has no choice but to end her marriage. Ethan may still love her in his own way, but that love is no longer enough to save their relationship. She can't continue living in a marriage where only she is trying to make it work. At the same time, Sophia also faces a decision just as difficult. Her marriage to David began long ago, but in recent times, she has clearly felt that her feelings have faded. The secrets she's uncovered, the truths she can no longer ignore, have all led to this difficult crossroads. Sophia can't help but feel betrayed, not only by David, but also by her best friend, Olivia. Standing in the living room, Sophia clenches her fists, looking at David, the husband she once loved. The beautiful memories of love, of their first dates, are now just wounds that cannot heal. David, I love you, but I can't live with someone who still holds on to the image of another woman. Those words are not only the end of a relationship, but an acknowledgement of the deep feelings Sophia has carried for so long. She can't continue living in a marriage where David still carries the past of Olivia. Their relationship is now nothing more than empty promises and long-held emotions that no longer exist. David stands there, his eyes full of regret, but unable to change anything. He understands that, no matter how hard he tries, what's done is done. His explanations cannot soothe Sophia's pain. In the end, he just stands still, silently watching her, while she has made the decision that she cannot continue living with a man who has betrayed her both physically and emotionally. For Olivia and Ethan, their relationship is no different. What has passed can no longer be salvaged. Ethan knows that the love he once had for Olivia is gone, and Olivia no longer forgives him. They stand there, amid the emotional wounds neither can heal. In the end, no explanation can help them come back together. Olivia takes off her wedding ring and places it on the table, a definitive gesture. In that moment, everything in her life seems to crumble. The beautiful memories, the plans for the future, now hold no meaning. She can no longer muster the strength to continue in a marriage where even her husband no longer loves her like he once did. The wife-swapping game, which was only meant to be a joke, has suddenly turned into an unimaginable turning point. It was not just a joke, but a catalyst that ignited hidden emotions, unresolved conflicts. And now, it has led to the collapse of two marriages. Both Olivia and Sophia, two strong women, must face the truth that their relationships no longer exist. Two divorces happen almost simultaneously, with no regret from the two husbands. But perhaps regret from within Olivia and Sophia's hearts is inevitable. Both women have lost the most precious things in their lives, but can they find new love, a new life after this pain? Which marriage will survive the betrayal and difficult choices? The answer is not always clear, but one thing is certain: not everything can be saved. Sometimes, accepting the truths and moving on the new path is the only way to escape endless suffering. Olivia and Sophia have found freedom in their own decisions. They will find themselves again, though the road ahead is not easy. Long days filled with suspicion, betrayal, and pain. The lives of Olivia, Sophia, Ethan, and David have finally taken a turn, where they must face the truth about their own relationships. The outcome they never could have imagined when they entered marriage is now a bitter awakening about things they failed to realize for so many years. David and Sophia no longer belong to each other. This is the undeniable truth that both must face, even though neither of them is willing to admit it right now. Sophia's perception of David is no longer the same. She no longer feels the warmth of love when looking into his eyes, and she no longer sees the trust that once formed the foundation of their marriage. Their relationship is now like an empty box, devoid of connection, devoid of sweet moments, only left with the shattered pieces of broken promises. David no longer finds comfort in Sophia's presence. He realizes that their relationship has been eroded by too many secrets, dishonesty, and wrong decisions from the past. Mistakes he cannot fix, pains he has caused Sophia, prevent him from looking at her with love anymore. Although his feelings still remain, he knows deep down that what's left between them is only emptiness and wounds that can never heal. Ethan and Olivia are no different. For Olivia, the love she once had for Ethan is now nothing but painful memories that she doesn't want to revisit. She cannot forgive his betrayal, cannot continue living in a relationship where trust has completely crumbled. Ethan, the husband she once trusted, now feels like a stranger, a man she no longer understands. His betrayal not only shattered her heart, but also harmed everything she had built over the years. Ethan, too, cannot continue this marriage. Although he always thought he could change, that he could win back Olivia's love and trust, he knows his mistakes are too great to fix. The guilt and regret haunt him, but it seems too late to change anything. The love he once had for Olivia is now just a wound, a deep cut that cannot be healed. All four have walked out of their marriages with bitter lessons about love, trust, and loyalty. When Olivia and Sophia look back on what has transpired, they cannot help but ask themselves whether they were too blind in love, too trusting of the promises their partners made. Love sometimes is not about romance, not about sweet moments they once experienced, but rather about hard decisions, choices between holding on or letting go. They realize that in love, trust and loyalty are the most important things, and when those are lost, everything will shatter. Olivia cannot help but wonder about her choice. Could she forgive Ethan, or has his betrayal been too great to fix? Does she still love him, or is it simply that she cannot overcome the pain he caused? This question lingers in her mind, with no answer in sight. Olivia knows she needs time to find herself again, to rebuild trust in life, love, and herself. As for Sophia, she too doesn't know if her relationship with David can be salvaged. After discovering that he once loved Olivia, Sophia couldn't help but feel betrayed a second time. She once thought her marriage would last, but now, everything has completely changed. She cannot live with the torment and the secrets that David has kept hidden for all these years. She cannot continue to stay with a man she can no longer trust. Yet one undeniable truth is that they have learned invaluable lessons from their mistakes. They understand that love is not just about happy moments, but also about respect, honesty, and solid trust. What has happened will forever be a lesson that Olivia, Sophia, Ethan, and David will carry with them throughout their lives. And no matter how life goes on, they will never forget what they've been through. Though Olivia and David were once important parts of each other's lives, after everything that has happened, this question still hangs in the air. Olivia and David, can they find the love they lost? Can they overcome all the pain and betrayal to rebuild their relationship? Or are they simply two lost souls, unable to fix the mistakes of the past? Olivia cannot be sure what will happen. She cannot deny that a part of her still has feelings for David, but what he did makes it impossible for her to forgive him easily. She needs time to think, to heal the wounds in her heart, and decide whether she should continue with David or not. David also doesn't know if he can win back Olivia's love. He feels guilty and regretful for what he has done, but he also understands that his mistakes are too great. Can he become the man Olivia needs, or is he just a part of the past she cannot continue living with? It's a question that's not easy to answer. Love at times is a miracle, but sometimes it's a challenge that cannot be overcome. Can Olivia and David find love again? Or will they continue on separate paths, searching for happiness elsewhere? Time will be the deciding factor. And perhaps only with time will Olivia and David find the answer for themselves. Can they rebuild love together? Or will they simply remain two lost people, never able to find each other again? Everything remains unanswered, and only time will tell. Life is a series of decisions, and each of these decisions, whether big or small, can deeply impact our relationships with others. Sometimes, these decisions not only change ourselves, but also change love, friendship, and the values we once cherished. In this story, as secrets are revealed and painful truths come to light, the biggest question arises: can we continue to trust and love when betrayal has eroded everything? And when relationships that once seemed strong suddenly collapse, what will we do? The wife-swapping experiment, which seemed like a harmless joke in friendly gatherings, turned into a disaster when everything was pushed too far. In this story, Olivia and Ethan, as well as Sophia and David, have seen their relationships tested in ways no one could have predicted. The question is whether such an experiment could help couples understand each other better, or simply open the door to lies and wounded feelings. For Olivia, discovering Ethan's betrayal was not just a mental shock, but the collapse of trust. A person she loved, a person she gave her heart to, was secretly seeing another woman. This feeling is not easy to confront, and it doesn't just affect Olivia, but also forces her to reconsider her relationship. She once believed that the love between them was eternal, that they would overcome all difficulties. But the painful truth proved the opposite. It is a wound that cannot be healed overnight. Sophia, on the other hand, faces betrayal in a completely different way. She's not only betrayed by her husband, David, but also by her best friend, Olivia. When she discovers that David once loved Olivia, it feels as though the world is collapsing. The love she had for her husband is no longer intact, and her friendship with Olivia is also shattered. Betrayal sometimes doesn't only come from being hurt by others, but also from the secrets they hide from you. And this truth forces Sophia to confront a deep pain she cannot accept. The wife-swapping game, which seemed like a form of entertainment, brought nothing but hurt and loss. Everything changed when truths could no longer be hidden. When Olivia discovered Ethan's betrayal and Sophia learned David's secrets, they had to face not only painful emotions, but also the confusion about relationships they once thought were unbreakable. Can they forgive each other? Can they find trust in love and friendship when everything has been eroded by lies? The question doesn't stop here. The biggest question each of us must face when confronted with betrayal is, do we have enough courage to face the truth, to confront the wounds, and learn to move past them? This question is not easy to answer. Facing betrayal, whether in love or friendship, always leaves us feeling lost and disoriented. But is this the time for us to find strength, to continue loving and forgiving? If you were Olivia, facing Ethan's betrayal, would you continue loving him? Or would you find a way to distance yourself, to protect yourself? If you were Sophia, facing betrayal from both your husband and best friend, what would you do to heal the cracks? And if you were Ethan or David, could you apologize and hope for forgiveness? Or would you accept living in guilt and lies? In the end, the big question we need to ask ourselves is, when love and trust are tested, can you stand firm and find a way to heal? Life's choices are always filled with challenges, and sometimes the decisions we make not only affect ourselves, but also change the relationships we have with those around us. Will you continue to accept a love that is wounded and full of lies? Or will you walk away and seek a different path? A new love, a true respect and trust. In every relationship, whether love or friendship, sincerity and trust are the most important factors. When these factors are threatened, we must face challenges that are not easily overcome. But once we face the truth and learn to forgive, the wounds will gradually heal. And no matter how love and friendship are tested, understanding and compassion will be the key to helping us overcome every challenge. If you were one of these people, what would you do? Would you continue to endure? Or would you find a way to move forward? Would you forgive or let go and seek a new life, free of hurt? Life, though complex and filled with unpredictable events, always offers opportunities for those who dare to face the truth, who dare to forgive, and who dare to love again. And these are the choices that each of us must make. Thank you for taking the time to follow our story. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next chapters. We always look forward to your interaction, so the next stories can bring you even deeper lessons and emotions.